ones in Instagram, probably you guys can see as well. Okay, so that's the workshop. I want to become an engineer in Australia. Who doesn't? If you are here, it's because you want to become an engineer in Australia. And I'm going to just a brief introduction. Some of you may already seen this one because you follow me already for some time, but some of you perhaps is the first time that you participate in my workshop. Is this your first time, or have you participated before? So perhaps if it's the first time, put 1 in the comments. If it is the second or third or fourth time, yeah, put number 2, so I know those ones that are the first time and those ones that are a second time. So I can then first time, Eric, Ali, first time, Lucas, first time, Leonardo, first time. Yeah, okay, good. And another thing, is the speed of my English too quick, or do you want me to go a little bit slowly? Because yeah, sometimes, even though English is not my first language, but I've been here for like 16 years, so I tend to speak a little bit fast, and I'm aware that some of you guys may not have your English is still very good, and I respect that. So I will try not to speak too quick, but also not too slow as well. Okay, yeah, thanks. And if you're not understanding something, you can send me a message. If you're embarrassed, put in the group. You can send me directly in Telegram or WhatsApp. I can then briefly explain in Portuguese, or I can't speak Indonesian, or I can't speak Filipino, but I can speak Portuguese and I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but yeah. Okay. So why did I create my website, www.engineersinaustralia.com? 1, to share valuable content and information related to the engineering qualification validation here in Australia, to assist in the journey to make the dream to come true. I always had the dream to work as an engineer. I always had the bigger dream to become a permanent resident and have an Australian citizenship. So that was my ultimate dream, mine and my wife's. Also to share hints for a professional accomplishment in Australia. You may or may not know, but I have a special series where I talk about how you can get your first professional job in Australia. In terms of CV and cover letter, interviews, other hints, where to find jobs, where to search for jobs, networking, all of those things. I also share the day-to-day of an engineer in Australia. Sometimes I cannot share too much because of confidentiality, business in confidence sort of stuff of the work that I do. But when I can, I try to share my day-to-day with you guys. But ultimately, I want you guys to have what does it mean? Smoother road than mine. It's an Australian expression. So smoother road is that the road is going to be much easier. So you're not going to have a lot of difficulties when you're trying to reach your objective. And that's my objective, to help you guys to understand better, to have the information that's available, and you can have your process done a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, and not having that much frustration. And just a little bit about myself. I'm Gerson. I'm a civil engineer. I graduated in the Federal University of Paraná State in 1994. Yes, it's been already 27 years that I'm graduated, so I probably revealing my age. Yes, I turned 50 years old in September. Yes, I'm 50 already. And I've done my MBA in logistics with the Getúlio Vargas Foundation. I am a chartered professional engineer here in Australia. I'm also a registered professional engineer of Queensland. Queensland is the state that I live in, RPEQ. And I've done many other courses. I've done in Gifu, Japan. I've done my planning and construction post-graduation. I've done quality and productivity post-graduation in Japan with the Japanese Productivity Center. I've done my graduate certificate in project management in Lille, in France. In Australia, I've done my advanced diploma in project management. I've done training and assessment training here in Australia, so I can deliver training. I can teach people. I've done my certificate 4 in workplace health and safety leadership here in Australia. And I participated in many interview panels with Engineers Australia for the CPEng, the Chartered Professional Engineers. Engineers that they want to become chartered professionals, which is the next level here in Australia. I had my qualification recognized in 2006 with Engineers Australia, and currently I work for the Queensland Department of Transport and Main Roads. We have a construction company, and I manage the Brisbane metropolitan branch with about 250 staff doing construction and maintenance of transport infrastructure, roads, bridges, tunnels, and all works that you can imagine in a road infrastructure: guardrail, line marking, traffic signals, whatever you can imagine in a transport infrastructure. So, and people sometimes ask me the question, why are you doing this? You know, it's Sunday morning. You're going to be here for an hour or two. You probably spent many hours already preparing for this. And then you have your live sessions. I've done already 127 live sessions. Tonight, I've got my 128th live session that I do every week. So for more than 2.5 years, every week, I am here. I don't fail anything. Why are you doing this? You could be spending time with your family. You could be doing other work that you can make some money, but you're just giving and donating your time and knowledge here. So I'm going to share with you, hopefully this will work. It's a 30 seconds audio. It's an audio that I received from one of my mentoring students. You may or may not know, I've got a mentoring program. And Erica, she's a civil engineer that she was validated last year. The audio is in Portuguese, but there is a subtitle in English. So hopefully it will work. And I'll double check that that's working as well.
Gerson, eles responderam. Eu tô chorando de alegria aqui. Eles aprovaram meu diploma, graças a Deus, a minha validação, e aprovaram meus 2 anos de Austrália, mais 6 anos no Brasil. Meu Deus do céu, eu não tô aguentando de felicidade. Ai, meu Deus, obrigada. Eu não tenho nem como te agradecer. Nossa, muito obrigada. Gerson, você não sabe o quanto que você me ajudou. Depois eu vou até escrever um depoimento no Facebook te agradecendo, porque, nossa, muito obrigada. Foi muito essencial. Obrigada mesmo.
Yeah, so when I got that, hopefully you guys managed to hear that. Yeah, when I received that audio, I was so happy for Erica. I was so happy. She had a very difficult case, and she was at one stage, she was almost giving up. She didn't want to continue. She didn't have a lot of hopes that she was going to be validated. and I certainly encourage her, and I worked with her to make sure that she did everything that she needed to do. And when she sent me her approval, oh, I was so happy for her. And that's what motivates me and makes me happy. I want to see overseas engineers to be validated. I want to see overseas engineers. And nowadays, she's working as a civil engineer in Sydney. So that makes me even more happy because she is working as an engineer here. And I was a little bit of part of her success as well.
Gerson!
So, but the objective of this validation process, what's the objective? This is the letter, that's actually my letter, when I received in 21st of June 2006, where it says that my qualification was successfully assessed as civil engineer, and I could use this code here in my migration process. So that was the objective of this validation process. Get this letter, being recognized as an engineer. But it doesn't stop there. After you get this letter, engineers in Australia here, you should pursue the Chartered Professional Engineer status. And I got that this 2011, so 10 years ago. And which means that you can work without supervision. Very important. A lot of companies, they don't have engineers to supervise you. They're going to hire you. They're going to give you a job because you are a chartered professional engineer and you don't need supervision. So why is important? Because obviously you can get a job more easily. And right to recognize engineering qualification in Australia. Well, these are the reasons why I did it. To make the dream to come true in work as an engineer in Australia. So that's one thing. There's some pictures here of the works that we did. Because, you know, when I came to Australia, we started to work as a cleaner. I was cleaning toilets. I cleaned toilets for almost 1 year. I had 28 toilets, 4 hours to clean each all of the 28 toilets. I was frying chips in events. I was serving drinks in events as well. I was cleaning carpets, etc., etc., etc. Nothing wrong with those jobs. I actually enjoyed that year because I didn't really have any stress. The only stress that I had was not to forget to spray the lavender, the mist, so the toilet was a very good smell. That was my only stress. I cannot forget to spray the lavender mist. So that was the only stress. But because I studied a lot and I was looking at a lot of works here, jobs and construction sites, I thought, well, I want to work as an engineer. So how can I make that to happen? Well, a lot of competition. So recognizing my qualification and get my visa was critical. So to make the dream to come true, to work as an engineer, I had to validate my qualification because without the validation, I could not get my visa. Also, I wanted to contribute to the engineering profession. A few other pictures there. This is a job that we did. That's not me, but one of our workers. We were replacing some of the joints of one of the largest bridges here in Brisbane. Those that live in Brisbane, you know the Captain Cook Bridge. We replace all the joints there. We also do electrical infrastructure. So some of the pictures there. Also for personal and professional development. Opportunity to migrate to Australia, and obviously got the koala and the kangaroo. These are the symbols of Australia here. So once I validate, I can then apply for my visa. And beginning of a family transformation. Once you are here in Australia as a permanent resident, life becomes easier because then you can get a job, a professional job, you make more money. Here is just a picture that we took when we went to Bali, when we could travel. That's my wife. We pretty much went to all of the countries in Southeast Asia already. And most importantly, offer better conditions to grow my daughter up and look after my family better. We had a good life in Brazil, but those ones that are still in Brazil, you know, that sometimes life can be a little bit rough. You always have that concern about your own safety and your own security. So, yeah. And also job security. Sometimes you have a job, but then something happens, you don't have your job anymore. I'm not saying that in Australia it doesn't happen. It also happens here, but it's less frequent. So once you get a job, you're just going to lose a job if something really terrible happens. So I said that in the opening webinar, I was going to talk about how the workshop is going to work, and also going to talk about one of the biggest blockages in the validation process. So the workshop is going to work like this. We've got the website, angqualvalworkshop.com. That is the workshop hub, which is, where is my, where's my, yeah, that's the one. So I believe that you guys can see now the website. So this is the workshop hub where you're going to see the calendar there. You have the calendar. If you're not registered yet, you can register in here. You just click in there. It will open up a registration page where you just need to put your email address and your name, and then just click whatever suits you. I'm a Brazilian, live in Australia, and then register. And then that's done. You're 98% register, confirm. To be 100%, you just need probably to join the WhatsApp group. Why is that? Because emails, sometimes they don't arrive in your inbox, and I don't know why, but sometimes it doesn't. So if you join the WhatsApp group, you will get the reminders in the WhatsApp group. So here in the workshop, once I activate the videos, for example, this is the opening webinar, it's still locked. So after this live session, I'm going to put the replay of the opening webinar here. And then tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to send the email with the link to watch the first video, which is going to talk about the opportunity for life transformation. It's going to go 9 a.m. Brisbane time, I think 10 a.m. Sydney or Melbourne time, and it's going to be Sunday 8 p.m. in Brazil. So tomorrow this icon will be activated. You can click in there and then you'll be able to watch the video number 1 replay as well. And then Wednesday, video number 2, Friday, video number 3, and then on Sunday, we're going to have the closing webinar. And you can also join the WhatsApp group here on the website. And this is very important, guys. If you have questions or any comments or suggestions, I encourage you to write your comments here. And like Bruno, he has already written a question, and then I replied to his question here. So if you have questions, please put in here. It will probably going to ask you to sign in as your Telegram account. So you just need to put your mobile phone and then confirm in Telegram that you are trying to sign in, and then you can write your question. I know that it's a little bit of a process, but I couldn't really find a different way to do it. I've done all of this website myself, so I'm not an IT expert, so sorry for that. And here you can watch some of the testimonies of some validated engineers here in Australia. Erica, civil engineer. Walter, he's an environmental engineer, and Leila, she's also a civil engineer. All right, good. So going back to the PowerPoint presentation. So there will be 2 live webinars, the opening webinar, the one now, and the other one next Sunday, the closing webinar Sunday next week. Tonight, 8 p.m. or sorry, 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to have a live session on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, live number 128. And tonight, I'm going to talk about some of the biggest fears during the validation process. A lot of engineers, when they are doing their validation, they have these fears. And I'm going to talk about them to you tonight and how you can probably overcome those ones. And then Tuesday, I'm going to have an interactive Instagram live session. So why do I say interactive Instagram live session? One, because I'm going to give away 15 minutes of free consulting on the spot. So if you're attending the Instagram live session on Tuesday, 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Brisbane time, 9 p.m. Sydney or Melbourne, or 7 a.m. in Brazil, I will choose somebody to be live with me, to share the screen with me, and this person can ask me whatever question you have. And for 15 minutes or so, we will be discussing about your case. Oh yeah, Gerson, but what if I'm not the one interacting with you? Doesn't matter, because the question of somebody else can also be your question. So it's important for you to attend as well. And on Tuesday, I'm also going to interview another engineer that was validated as a professional engineer here in Australia. And I'm going to do, just decided now, another interactive session on Thursday. So I'm going to give away another 15 minutes of free consulting on Thursday as well. And then you will have the 3 recorded videos that I'm sending tomorrow, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. Brisbane time. And those videos, they probably a bit long as well. The first video has 25 minutes. The second video has 35 minutes. And the third video has 25 minutes as well. And I know that a lot of you are not going to watch the videos until the end. I encourage you guys to watch until the end, because it's a lot of information. And I promise to you, in 1 week, you will learn everything you need to know to start your validation process. But if you don't watch the videos, obviously you're not going to learn. So I encourage you to watch. It's 25 minutes. It's not a lot. Let's say that you're driving to work, you're stuck in just don't watch the video. Just listen to the audio. Obviously, I don't want you to get distracted while driving, but you can just listen to the audio. And when you go back home, then you can rewatch the replay, the video again. So, but it's really important. If you don't watch the videos, unfortunately, you're not going to learn the whole process. And it's not just the process. In the videos, I will talk about the main questions that people have, the main mistakes that engineers they usually make when they are doing their validation. I'm going to talk about many other things. All right, so that's the calendar. As I spoke with you guys, we're having the opening webinar, we're having the live session tonight, the first, second, and third video, Instagram live session, and then Sunday, the live webinar. And on Sunday, I'm going to explain to you guys, as I mentioned to many people that already asked me if I'm going to open a new group of my mentoring group. The last group that I opened was back in September. So I decided to open a new group of my mentoring. And then on Sunday, I'm going to explain how everything is going to work and give you the opportunity to give that step further to join my other 19 students that applied, and all of them being validated already. So 100% approval rate so far. So any questions? Do you guys have any questions before I proceed with procrastination, which is one of the worst enemies in your validation journey? Any questions? I'll check the chat just while I have a sip of water. Yes, Eric, I will share the WhatsApp group link in Telegram. You're asking that. Just invite the group via link, copy link. Yeah, that's a link there, Eric. So if you in Telegram are not part of the WhatsApp group, you can join in that with that link. And I'll put in Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram as well, so everybody has the same opportunity. Instagram and now YouTube. Yeah. All right. No more questions there. Okay, so I'll keep going with procrastination. So, are you a procrastinator? Put in the comments, yes or no. I will put my answer, and I would like you to put your answer. I will put so that's my answer. Let's see your answers. Yes, I am a professional procrastinator. If you want to learn about procrastination, yeah, give me a call. I'll give you all the hints to be a professional procrastinator. Is that good? Yeah, well, probably not, but I cannot change how I am. Unfortunately, I am a professional procrastinator. But Gerson, how can you make things happen if you are a professional procrastinator? Well, I know it's difficult, but it's all about discipline and training, and applying some techniques. So because I'm aware that I am a very good procrastinator, and I know when I am procrastinating, when I have something to do, I then monitor myself, and I make sure that I try to overcome my procrastination. So, but for you to identify you as a procrastinator, you need to understand why. For example, I took 10 months to finish my validation process when I started. And then I was reflecting, why was I stuck? Stuck means that you don't go anywhere. You don't go forwards, you don't go backwards, you're just kind of frozen. So why was I stuck in this process? Well, one, I wasn't sure about the process itself. Two, I didn't read the booklet with attention. Those ones I don't know, but there is a booklet, a manual, like a book, which has all the process for the validation process. And I didn't read the booklet with attention. I read the booklet, but I did not read with attention. Also, I wasn't sure how to choose the right experiences for my career episodes. Gerson, I don't know what is a career episode. There's no problem. In video number 2, video number 2, yes. Video number 3, you will know about the career episodes. Also, I didn't know how to address competencies. Yes, there are lots of competencies that you need to address to validate your engineering qualification. And I wasn't sure how to address, how to explain my examples that will match with those competencies. Also, I was not confident with my level of English. Even though I studied English in Brazil, I worked in a company that I was just speaking English, but still I was not very confident. And also I was working and studying, and I didn't have a lot of time to dedicate to my CDR. Hey, Gerson, what's CDR? I never heard about this acronym. CDR is Competency Demonstration Report. And in video number 1, tomorrow, you will learn more about CDR and the different ways that you can validate your qualification here in Australia. Also, and because working, studying, obviously, the day has just 24 hours in a day, and you got to sleep as well. So when you work and when you study, you don't really have a lot of time left. I was busy doing sightseeing and doing short trips. At the end of the day, Australia was a new place for me. So back in 2005, when I started my validation process, Australia, everything was still new for me and my wife. We were traveling, we're going here, going there. Even in Brisbane, we're visiting different places. And when you're doing those things, you don't have a lot of time left. So, and to do your validation, you need to sit down and do it. So if you are out and about, you are not sitting, you're not doing anything. So yeah, in the end, the real reason was that I'm a very good procrastinator. Even today, I can tell you, I'm still a professional procrastinator. So all of those things, they were excuses that I used not to do it, because my procrastination was saying, come on, Gerson, don't write your reports. Go there and go to the beach. You know, the day is sunny, it's hot, your friends are calling. Go to the beach. Don't spend your Sunday writing reports. You can do it tomorrow. Monday is a boring day. You can do it tomorrow. And as a good procrastinator, yeah, guess what? Did I go to the beach, or did I stay home and wrote my reports? I went to the beach. So what is procrastination? Procrastination is a mechanism for coping with anxiety associated with starting or completing any task or decision. Or in simple words, putting things off, leaving it to later. Do it tomorrow. Don't do now. Do it later. Those sort of things. So, in the procrastinator statement, as I said, why do it today if we can always do it tomorrow? So there's always tomorrow. So you need to identify what type of procrastination you are doing. And there are a few types of procrastinators, and I selected just 4, but there's plenty more. I was going to research, but then I procrastinated and I didn't research. Why research more? I've got already 4. That's enough. So that's my procrastination bit working. So anxious procrastinator, fun procrastinator, plenty of time procrastinator, and perfectionist procrastinator. So pay attention to those ones. And then after I finish these ones, I'm going to ask you which type of procrastinator you are. It can be more than one. So the anxious procrastinator. So people who procrastinate a lot are usually bad at managing their time and often end up scheduling in more work that they can actually do, leaving no time for fun activities or resting. Because you're anxious, you cannot say no. You just want to do everything. People ask to do one thing, oh, yes, I can do it. Oh, can you do this? Yes, I can do it. Or you think, oh, I got to do another thing, and I got to do another thing. I'm worried about this task. Oh, I'm speaking too fast again. I have this task. I have the other task. I have the other task. And then you want to do everything at the same time, because if you don't start, you're not going to finish. And you ended up doing everything and you don't complete anything. So that's the anxious procrastinator. You're so worried about, obviously, you got to have time for fun activities and rest. If you don't rest and if you don't have fun activities, you end up getting very stressed out. And it's not going to be good to complete your objective. And with the validation, is no different. The validation process is a process. It's not a task. It's not one thing that you will sit one day and you will finish in one day. It is a process. And as a process, it will take some time. And for that time, you need to organize yourself. You need to think about the tasks ahead. You need to separate time. You need to think a lot about it. You need to draft reports. You need to review. It's a process. So you cannot be stressed out, because if you're stressed out, you're going to rush. You're going to just start writing, and the result is not going to be good. The fun procrastinator. Obviously, you got to have fun and you got to rest, but not that much. The fun procrastinator would rather be doing anything except that one dreaded task. And the dreaded task in this case is the validation process. You have to write reports. Who here likes to write a report? Are you a good report writer? I was not a good report writer at the time. Writing was not my thing. As an engineer, I never liked to write reports. Even today, I don't like to write reports, but I learned how to write a good report. I learned how to organize my thinking to write good reports. What about you? Are you a good report writer? Do you like to write reports? Put in the comments. Let's see if I can find a good or somebody that likes and is a good report writer. Perhaps you are, or perhaps you're like me. You don't like, or you're not a good report writer. So after all, there's so many fun and exciting things you could be doing instead. How can you bear to start that boring project? How can you bear to start writing your report when you have a barbecue with your friends on a Sunday afternoon? You know, if you are procrastinating, you will go to the barbecue and you're not going to write your report. And a little bit later on, we're going to watch a very quick testimony from Layla when she actually talks about it, about not doing many things to be able to accomplish your result. Plenty of time procrastinator. This is where people find it difficult to start a project when they know the deadline is a long way off. This type of procrastination is clearly visible in students who often struggle to start an essay earlier than a few days before the deadline. I'll be open with you. When I was at university, I never studied well before the exams. I was always studying just not even a day before. I was studying a night before. And how many nights didn't I sleep just because I was studying? Because of procrastination. I could have studied a week before, but I'm always thinking, oh, I've got another week and it's not much that I need to study. I will study tomorrow. I will study tomorrow. I still have 5 days. I will study tomorrow. I still have 2 days. I will study later. I've got 1 day. I still got the afternoon and the evening, so I'll study later. And then in the evening, oh, now I got to study because the exam is already in the morning. So living until the last minute. And that happens sometimes with international students because sometimes they need the validation for their visa renewal, for example. Anybody here that needs to validate the qualification because you need to renew your visa? And sometimes your visa is going to expire. Let's say now we are in December, and then your visa is going to expire in April. You have 4 months until it expires, so still have plenty of time. But you got to remember that the process is not very easy, and you will take a lot of time to write a good application. To write a bad application is easy. You can write in 1 day a bad application, but you don't want to send to Engineers Australia a bad application, because if you send a bad application to Engineers Australia, one, you're going to waste the money of your application, about almost $900. You're going to waste your time, and you're probably not going to be approved. So there's no point to send a bad application. And to write a good application, it takes time. And Engineers Australia also will take some time to assess, to evaluate, to analyze your application. And if you want it quicker, you can pay an extra fee with Engineers Australia. They will reply to you in about 20 to 30 days. But if you don't, they're going to take probably 3 to 4 months. So it takes time. So you need to prepare yourself. You cannot be a procrastinator if your visa, let's say, expires in April. You need to start now, because it will take some time for you to prepare everything, and it will take Engineers Australia to assess, evaluate your application. So you cannot procrastinate too much, but there is this plenty of time procrastinator. Annie in Instagram saying that me, so she's probably not very good report writer, or you are a good report writer. Annie, sorry, Annie, I cannot see your name, so I don't know if it's he or she, but the picture is too small, I cannot see. Let's see all the comments there. Anxious procrastinator, Eric, it's me in Telegram. Yes, I think a lot of us we are like that. We just don't say no, and we have many things happening at the same time. All right. The other type of procrastinator. Where's my PowerPoint? Yeah, here. The perfectionist procrastinator. Perfectionists are always striving for the best, and as such are constantly criticizing their own work. For some perfectionists, the fear of failing or producing work to a low standard can be so overwhelming that they never actually get around to start anything. So, has it happened with you before? Sometimes it happened to me already. Nowadays, I'm trying not to be a perfectionist procrastinator. As I said, I'm a professional procrastinator, so I can be many types of procrastinator. But perfectionist procrastinator in the validation process is usually that engineer that thinks, oh, I'm going to get my referee letters, I'm going to get my CV ready, I'm going to get my my final assessment, everything translated, and before I have everything, I'm not going to even start. So, and then takes time to get the referee letters, takes time to get your resume ready, it takes time for you to get your final assessment from the university ready, and then you think, oh, thank God I didn't get that one there because I don't need to start. So, and then you never start. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year will pass and you never started. So that can be a big mistake because you don't need to have everything to start your validation process. In fact, it's better for you to start pretty much straight away. And when I say starting straight away, I'm not asking you to start writing everything. You can start thinking, you can start planning, you can start putting the paper your strategy to do the validation process, the list of documents that you need to do, the list of people that you need to contact so you can get your reference letter, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things that you can do in preparation for the validation process. You don't need to be a perfectionist procrastinator. You can do a lot of things before. And then, obviously, I'm not just going to say what type of procrastinator you are. So I know that Herrick, he's anxious procrastinator. Annie, sorry you said me. Probably you are in the anxious procrastinator or fun procrastinator by the time that you put in the comments. What about the others? What type of procrastinator are you? Got the anxious procrastinator, the fun procrastinator, the plenty of time procrastinator, and the perfectionist procrastinator. What type of procrastinator are you? Myself, I think I am a mix of anxious procrastinator and plenty of time procrastinator. I think I'm a mix of the two. I used to be a fun procrastinator, but nowadays I sometimes even don't go to some of the social events with my friends because I have to do something. I learned to say no. In Perfectionist, I used to be that one there, but nowadays I am happy to start something even though it's not perfect, because I know that the excellent is enemy of good. So I don't remember who told me that, but that statement, but it's very true. Excellent is enemy of good. If it is good enough, you can probably start doing. If you're just going to do excellent, you may not never finish. All right, so some strategies to overcome procrastination. Yeah, Faye, she's anxious procrastinator. Prioritize your time. Is money a problem? Put together an action plan, establish short-term goals. So these are the strategies that we're going to talk about. Prioritize your time. So if we say that we don't have time, and it's quite often, somebody asks you, oh yeah, have you started your validation process? No, I don't have time. I'm so busy. I'm working too much. I've got exams at school. I'm studying, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But when we say that we don't have time, it is actually a matter of priority. We can always wake up 1 hour earlier. We can always go to bed 1 hour later. We may not check Facebook or Instagram every time the notification bells rings, or we could share less funny videos in WhatsApp, or even not watch too many TV series in Netflix. When you start watching those TV series in Netflix, it's a problem. You spend the whole afternoon watching, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or season 1, and then it finishes. You start season 2, episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 10, and then go to season 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You spend the whole day watching the Netflix series, and that's your day gone. So it's all about priority. If your validation process is a priority, you will then probably not watch that Netflix series. You will probably not spend 1 hour, half an hour, just kind of a rolling up or down Instagram reels and stories and everything else. So yeah, you got to think about, if it is time, just be honest with you. Don't say that you don't have time. Just think that, well, it's not my priority now. I've got other priorities. When it is a priority, you will find time. I actually have a student that she procrastinated and she left until the last minute. She had 2.5 weeks to complete her application. So she was very lucky that I had a mentoring program group open at the time, and she joined the group. She studied very hard. She didn't do anything else. And in 2.5 weeks, she completed everything, and she applied to Engineers Australia. After a month, she got her assessment being approved. She was actually approved. She applied for civil engineering draftsperson, and she was approved as that. But it was her priority. She had 2.5 weeks. It was a combination about procrastination and wrong advice from a migration agent. So when she spoke with a different migration agent, the migration agent said that she could have a good chance if she had applied for the validation process. Another excuse or justification that we procrastinators, we think about it, it's money. Is money a problem? Yeah, you will need money to pay for your application. You will need money to pay for your English tests. You will need money to translate your documents. You will need money if you're studying English, obviously, to improve your English. You need money to pay for your English course and everything else. If money is your objection, again, it's also a matter of priority. A good exercise is to list 50 ways you can make or save some money. And if you're not willing to do that, perhaps your validation or your CDR is not a priority now. And there's so many things you can do. For example, some that following me on Instagram, you probably noticed and saw that we sold our house. So we sold our house a month ago, and my wife and I, we're selling many things because we move into a smaller place until we can build again, etc. So there's no room to fit everything. So we're selling. We're selling tables, chairs, lounges, sofas, a lot of decoration, etc. And it's amazing how much money you can make just selling simple things. So even myself, I think I sold, what did I sell these days? I think I sold one of the spare headsets. I sold for $10. You put $10 in Facebook Marketplace, somebody comes and buys it, and then it's just there. It's $10. $10 here, $50 there, $100 there. In the end, you ended up making good money. So you can do that, but you need to do it. You got to take pictures. You cannot procrastinate. You got to take pictures, put the description, post it, and then negotiate, etc. But it can be done. Perhaps that travel that you're planning to do. Oh, I'm planning to go to Uluru to see the big rock here in Australia. Well, that's going to probably chew up $1,000. If your validation is your priority, perhaps you postpone your trip. Maybe don't go now, go after your validation. And then you save $1,000 and perhaps you can pay the Engineers Australia application with that money. If you go to a night out, how many of us don't go to a night out, go to a pub, have beers, and have a very nice dinner on the weekend? If you spend $200, perhaps you can spend $200 on a weekend. If you drink a beer, if you drink beers and you go out, you're not just going to drink one beer. A beer in a pub here in Brisbane is between $10 and $15, depends on the beer. If you drink 4 or 5, 4 beers, $15 is already $60, plus a meal, you will pay another $30, $40. So it's, let's say, $100, just one in one night. If you go Friday, Saturday, you probably spend $200. If you don't go for a month, it's already $800. So, yeah, Gerson, but we need to go out, and yeah, I know, everybody does. But if money is a problem, you need to decide either you go out or you validate your qualification, and perhaps you get a job as an engineer and you make more money, then you can spend money. So that's the sort of decision that you need to do. So validation needs dedication and sacrifice. You need to understand that. So you need to put together an action plan. So put together an action plan for your CDR, your competency demonstration report. List the tasks you have to complete, establish deadlines. Does it look like a project? Yes. The CDR completion can be a very complex project. But luckily, you all are great engineers and you are very good at project management. As I said before, and I keep saying to my students, the success, and that's a good idea to take notes if you have a pen and a paper. Success in the validation process is 80% planning, preparation, and thinking, and just 20% writing. So pretty much Pareto rule. You need to spend 80% of your time planning, thinking about, organizing yourself. And the better you do this part, more effective will be the writing component. And why majority of people, they get frustrated when they are doing their application? Because they do the opposite. They think 20%, they plan just the 20%, and they spend 80% of their time writing. And why is that? Because they plan so little that when they're writing, they need to write over and over again. They write once, goes to the rubbish. They write twice, goes to the rubbish. They write the third time, goes to the rubbish, because they didn't think too much. So keep in mind, 80% thinking, planning, organization, 20% execution, writing. So that's the recipe for the success. And that's why you need to plan and spare time. Because if you're desperate, if you are in a rush, you're not going to have time to plan. You're just going to start writing madly, writing or typing, and it's not going to work. It's not going to be good, unfortunately. And establish short-term goals. If that dreaded task, that horrible task, that difficult task, which is to write everything, is looking too big to accomplish, for example, the booklet suggest you that each of your career episodes, the report, needs to be between 1,000 and 500 words to 2,000 words or 2,500 words. Let's say average of 2,000 words for each career episode. 2,000 words, it's quite a lengthy report. So if you think, oh, I need to write 2,000 words. Oh, no, I'm not going to write. I'm not feeling very well. My head is aching. I've got headache. I'm hungry. Oh, I need to go somewhere. I need to go to the toilet. 2,000 words is too much time. If you think that, it's probably you will give up because 2,000 words is really, 10, 12 pages. But then try to break those down in smaller chunks of work. You will see, and I'm going to explain to you the structure of the career episodes in video number 3. You have introduction, background, personal engineering activity, and conclusion. So establish that today you're going to write introduction. Introduction is just about 100 words. 100 words is not that much. So if you establish that today you're going to write just introduction, you will be able to do that. And then when you finish introduction, you will feel very well, very good, because you accomplished that goal. And then you'll have that good feeling. I've done my objective. And that good feeling is going to motivate you to do the next short-term goal. The next short-term goal, it could be background. Background's about 500 words, so it's a little bit more. But you can establish that tomorrow you're going to write one paragraph of the background. And then tomorrow you write that paragraph. And then you finish that paragraph, you will have that feeling of achievement. That motivation is going to feed for the next day. Next day, I'm going to write 2 paragraphs of the background. And then you do that. And that's the idea. The short-term goals that you achieve will feed your motivation so you can keep going. And then after a month, you will finish the whole career episode. And that's how you do it. And that's how you try to overcome the procrastination, because 2,000 words, 11 pages, 15 pages. Oh no, it's going to be too bad. Do you remember? I don't know, you guys probably younger, much younger than me, but we remember Muttley in the cartoon. That no, it wasn't Muttley. It was another character in the cartoon that was always complaining. Oh God, all day, just complaining about things. So try to establish short-term goals. I've got a comment here. Dave. Yeah, Dave is asking, where can we find the booklet? Yeah, that's a good question, Dave. I will actually show you here, because I like to show when I teach, so you guys can learn a little bit better. So let's go to, I think you guys can see the browser. We go to a new Google window, and then you put migration, skills, assessment, booklet. So that's the name, but migration skills assessment booklet. You Google that, and you will have, don't open the PDF, because the PDF sometimes is not updated. You go to, always make sure that you go to Engineers Australia website, so engineersaustralia.org.au. For migrants, you click on that. And then it's here for migrants. You see You see here in the menu for migrants. And then you go to Migration Skills Assessment, Skills Assessment Quick Guide, and then read the Migration Skills Assessment booklet. So when you click on that, you will get oh, sorry guys. You guys not seeing Telegram. Sorry. Oh, I have to just share the other screen. Yeah. I have to go back a little bit. So those ones in Telegram can see it. So when you go to Engineers Australia website, engineersaustralia.org.au, you go to For Migrants, and then Migration Skills Assessment, Skills Assessment Quick Guide, and then read the Migration Skills Assessment booklet. And then you have the booklet here. So the most updated version is March 2020. And in here, you will find everything that you need to know. Oh yeah, Gerson, but you're saying that you're going to teach us everything we need to know so we can start applying for the validation process. Yes, I will. And all the information that I'm going to use is based on the Engineers Australia booklet. The only thing that I'm adding is that I'm adding my experience in this process. A lot of people, they ask many questions, they have many difficulties, and those information are not in the booklet. So I'm giving you extra information because the booklet needs some interpretation, the booklet needs some digestion of information, and that's what I'm sharing with you in this workshop. So in here, you can find the booklet, and please read with a lot of attention. One of the biggest mistakes is people not reading with attention. Okay. All right, so go back to my PowerPoint. And now I'm going to share with you a very short story from Leila. She's a civil engineer in Tasmania, and she was validated in January 2020. She was actually a student of my first group of my mentoring program, and she was my first student that was validated. It's just 1 minute, 18 seconds. Just bear with me, and I hope that you will be inspired by her story. Hopefully you guys can hear.
Eu assim, com todo o material que tu fornece, com os encontros, aquilo tudo, eu me senti assim, super preparada, que eu tinha tudo que eu precisava para começar. Então, eu só precisava realmente sentar e fazer, sabe? Foi essa sensação, porque antes eu sentava, olhava e não sabia nem por onde começar. Então, assim, o teu material me ajudou assim muito, porque eu sabia, eu tive aquela tranquilidade assim, agora é só sentar e fazer, que não é uma coisa fácil. Não. Precisa de várias horas, precisa de dedicação, você precisa abrir mão de várias coisas, de estar com a família, de passear, de fazer outras coisas, e até mesmo de trabalhar para fazer isso. Mas eu sentia que eu tinha todos os recursos, então, e tinha um material gravado, os slides que eu podia passar, repassar, voltar, tinha vários exemplos ali, enquanto eu participava das aulas, daquelas 3 que a gente fez, eu ia anotando, já ia tendo dicas, assim, ideias de como que eu ia justificar endereçar então cada requisito. Então aquilo ali eu já tinha tudo material, já estava com as ideias muito, muito frescas e tinha todo o suporte do teu material.
Legal.
Então foi muito, muito mais fácil.
All right, guys. So yeah, certainly very inspiring. And yeah, she said that she needed to sacrifice a lot. She needed to not do many things, sometimes not even working. So, but very inspiring, Leila. That's for sure.
Eu assim,
All right, so we're almost getting to the end of the opening webinar, guys. And again, please send your question to be answered during the workshop. Go to the workshop hub, angqualvalworkshop.com, and then you leave your comments there. And I will answer the questions there as well. And don't forget, those ones that are watching and not in the Telegram group, please join the Telegram group. You can take a picture of this QR code. It will send you to the Telegram group. You need to download the app first and then join the group. The live webinars, well, the live webinar next Sunday is going to be in the Telegram group as well. And in the Telegram, we can interact and we can send, you can send questions and suggestions as well. All right, so I certainly would like to thank you guys very much. Tonight, well, it says tomorrow night, but it's tonight, sorry. I'll fix that because I don't like to see mistakes. So it's tonight. So tonight, 8:30 p.m. at Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram live session, I'm going to talk about the biggest fears when starting the validation process. And tomorrow, Monday morning, around 9 a.m. Brisbane time, I will be activating the first video where I'm going to talk about the opportunity for life transformation and the different pathways that you have to validate your engineering qualification. So please, making sure that you check your inbox. And if the email is not your inbox, perhaps check your spam or junk mail box. And if it is there, you just need to probably create a contact with my name and my email address, and then future emails are not going to the junk mail box. So, any particular question that you guys would like to have? I'm just going to check if there's any question there. In the other platforms. No questions in YouTube. No questions in Facebook. And Instagram. I think there's no questions there as well. Yeah, I think it's all good. Yes, I think it's all good now. All right. So I would like to thank you guys very much for coming and participating. And I hope to see you guys tonight with the second event of the workshop in the live session, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, where I'm going to talk about some of the biggest fears that engineers have when they are doing their validation process. Thank you very much, guys, and see you there. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys, in Telegram. I appreciate you joining here. See ya. Bye-bye.